We're backstage today here at the Farm Credit Forum speaking with John Fast, who is the founder of the Center for Family Business at the University of Waterloo, but most farmers will certainly know you as an expert in succession planning and understanding some of those dynamics. I grew up on the farm. Lots of people watching this grew up on a farm. Tell me why transfer of a farm, transfer of ownership, transfer of management is so difficult, so frustrating sometimes. Why is that so tricky?
Probably because no one seemed to understand how complex it is. Like, you only do it once in your life, so you don't study for it, you don't get a degree in it, you don't, like, there's not an easy roadmap. So that's one layer of complexity. The other layer of complexity is that you're mixing such powerful bottom lines within a family farm. Because you're a family, so, you know, you're supposed to love each other, and in healthy families, there's a lot of love and caring. You're a business, so you gotta make money. So there's profit, you gotta make money, otherwise you're not gonna stay. And then there's this power and control thing where, like, come on, you know, I own the equity, there's a transference of equity, the transference of the actual control of this asset, this farm asset. So those are three powerful bottom lines that get very confused.
Is agriculture unique in any of that? Or
No,
really?
Not at all.
Really?
The same dynamics occur in all family businesses. I mean, agriculture has maybe a couple of wrinkles, but minor. The big issues are similar in all families that are in business.
I hear, just because, as I said, I have family members who still farm, and I grew up on the farm, and typical issues when I hear you talk and I go, that's our situation. Yeah. So one of them, for instance, you talk about, which is, I know, is a common fear in our family, is the fear of conflict. Yeah. And so as a result of the fear of conflict, we naturally just let it slide.
We let it slide, we circle the wagons around a perceived source of conflict, and then we avoid, because some of our natures or some of our personalities tend to avoid conflict because we're afraid of it. That's a natural human fear. I'll cut to the chase. Avoiding conflict is absolutely the worst thing you can do. Because over time, the energy embedded in a conflict actually increases. It gets worse. Whereas your creative options for resolving conflicts, which are actually higher at the beginning, tend to diminish as the conflict lingers. Okay? And where those two lines kind of cross, the energy and the lack of creative options, that's where countries go to war, that's where marriages break up, that's where family farms go down the toilet. So avoiding conflict is the absolute worst thing you can do. But too many farm families are trapped by a conflict, a perceived conflict, or the inability to deal with a conflict that becomes like a cancer, and you just keep putting protective shells around it, okay, and then it traps the entire family.
But isn't there an irony there because of the fear of the conflict being so high, but there's not a fear of the business going down, or maybe we just don't want to think about the dangers of not addressing the conflict?
Well, this is where all family businesses don't draw that connection that easily between family dynamics, or the inability to actually deal with conflict or to communicate, like what I would call, more realistically about what's going on and the impact on bottom line results. That connection often is not there. And it's a huge connection. 80%, in fact, this is a stat that has come at us, 80% of family business failures, that's farm families or all family businesses that end up not working out, are due to family dynamics that have been ignored.
Okay, tell me, I was reading in some, this is not to do with farming business, but with other businesses, that one of the primary sources of, I'm not sure if I'll call it conflict, but certainly difficulty, is considered to be a lack of appreciation. Is that the case in agriculture, farm businesses? Yes, no?
It is. It's the biggest one.
Is it?
Statistically, it comes up at the top, at the very top. In fact, the next one down is so far down below that as a major issue that destroys, I'll call it, family harmony. That it's on a different rating scale. It's not just farm families, it's family businesses in general. I attribute it to a couple of things. One is a generation that never got much appreciation to start with. Like, in other words, our senior generation, our baby boomers and older, they were not showing much appreciation. And it's very difficult to pass on what you haven't got. So that's a historical issue.
It's because I don't know how to, or because I didn't get any, I'm not giving any to you?
Well, that's a good question. We can always learn. We can always grow. But historically, the culture around in family businesses has often been difficult around that. The other piece, again, is because you're a father, say, on a farm, and you've got children who desperately need your appreciation and affirmation on a daily basis. But out on the farm working, a lot of us revert into our boss mode. Yeah. We wear a boss hat, where it's all about, let's just get stuff done. We're driving, right? And so the only thing that matters is what's not working. So the kids that work for us, our employees, our key employees, they get the backhand. They get our criticism when they need it. But they don't get the 80-90% of appreciation for all the things they do well.